Hi everyone, it's Kathleen. We are back today to continue blending in the Edith Holden papers into our fabric. I've showed you how I laid them down in previous videos with soft gel medium. Then we did the cretin stitch with some pearl cotton in a neutral in a sand sort of color to blend it into the background. And I'm using a variety of different threads. I'm going to start off, this is my selection here that I have chosen, and I need my scissors. And I've already started, this will be my cover page. We're working on our title page. So I have chosen this DMC, it's tapestry wool, Lane tapestry. So it's tapestry wool. And whenever you get a DMC strand, even when it's the embroidery floss or this wool, you have a top thread and you have a bottom end at the top, end at the bottom. So if you can read the words, we're going to select on the label, we're going to pull from the bottom, and that will just let us pull out a whole bunch without tangling. So that's a good thing to know in the future. So we're just going to cut off a length of that wool, tapestry wool, and the bottom I'm going to double knot tight because wool tends to unknot. It comes apart easily. So I'm going to try to double knot it really tight. And I'm using a chenille needle because it has a long, wide eye, so I can loop my wool around it, grab it with my fingers, use my soft fingernail, and stick it through. Okay, so that's good. I have done this yesterday, and my poor fingers, I was poking what little thread I had. The needle was going right through my skin. I was having a hard time with that. So I got out I always work on my wool mat. So I got out this foam mat that I use for pricking holes on when I stitch paper. And I was using a needle, but the needle was poking into my finger, and it was causing me grief. So I've got a nail. It's an old nail I was given, and it has a round head, so I'm hoping that'll help me. So I'm going with this. My plan is to use various threads to outline the paper, so the paper blends into the Battenberg tablecloth. So I have this, and I'm just going to be doing, it's a blanket stitch. And I'm going to go in between, usually 2 or 3 blanket stitches in between what I have here, sometimes 1, sometimes 2. And I'm going to poke some holes in. So I know I'm going to come in behind this stitch, so because I've rethreaded, I've used all, and okay, I've really poked a hole. So I'm just going to come up, and I'm going to do a blanket stitch. So let's go. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to go, oh boy, that's tough. But at least this is a wider hole, and I won't have as much problem with my needle. So I'm always going to be poking where I want my 2 stitches to come out on my cloth. I'm pre-poking the holes because otherwise it'll cause me grief. And I didn't poke one out here. So let's just poke holes along the outside. Let's give, maybe I'm just going to stick right there. I'll have to just come out in the middle here somewhere. Okay, this is a tricky one. I'm not really showing you how I'm doing the blanket stitch right now, but let's go 1. I'm going to need 2. A hole alongside my paper edge, and then 1 out. So I'm going to do 2 here. So 1, 2 close to the paper edge, and 2 out there. Let's do 3, 1, 2, 3 close to the paper, and 3 out there. Let's do 2 here. You'll see it'll be much easier on my fingers. And I wanted to show you me poking. I'm poking into this foam pad because my chenille needle and wool this is dense fabric. And when you, maybe I'll just do 1 there. Let's do 1, 2, 3 in here. And I'll have to go 1, 2, 3 there. Let's go 2. Now let's go 3. Let's go 3. 1, 2, 3. This will save me finger. It doesn't hurt pressing this round thing. So whatever my Tim Holtz awl wasn't going, wasn't doing the job for me. So I'm using a nail. And let's just poke 1 on the end here. Okay, and came out here. Let's give myself 1. Okay, let's start. That was a long time in coming. It's 30 degrees out here, and it is stifling hot. I'll never complain about the heat. Love the heat because I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and we only get this hot for 1 or 2 days a year. So, okay, we're gonna continue. So I'm gonna turn this around. I don't need this. Well, I'm gonna leave the pokey thing under there in case I do need it. So when you start coming back, I finished my thread. So I'm gonna start a thread. I'm just gonna come up under here, right to the end, and I have a knot on the back. So my hole is here. So to do the blanket stitch, as you know, you go into and I'm a scooper if I can. So let's see if I can scoop this. In, down the hole and up at the paper. And pull. And I think, okay, I have to go down here, and I know I did not poke a hole, and this is going to be hard. I'm just going to be making just a stitch because I can't do, can I do it? Well, let's try it. Down in the same spot, and let's go up where I came. Oh, geez, it's so, there, it's stiff. Let's pull, and let's see. So I'm just trying to add different layers. Oh, and this is not gonna stay. I'm just gonna anchor this guy, because if I go this way, you see how that's loose? I need to anchor him down. And I'm gonna go down the same hole on that same thread. There or there. I'm gonna go down here and just pull it through just to anchor it. And I'm just gonna come up further along. I'm just adding threads, but I wanna add a blanket stitch. And the blanket stitch here, I'm just going to go in the Battenberg, and I'm going to come out up there. So I want to catch my fabric underneath here, my Battenberg, and pull. And you're laying your thread along the outside of the paper. I don't even know if I can go this way. Let's see if I can. I'm actually using a loop to anchor it in here because there is no fabric there. Let's see if I can actually do that. Okay, let's lay it flat. So bottom line is I'm adding different kinds of threads to the edge. And going in here is not going to, this is, well, maybe it might catch. Let's see. Let's catch over here. Let's see if that works, because it's painted with gel medium. Okay, and I can't bring my thread down here because look, it doesn't hold it. So to hold it, I have to go in this previous hole that I've made. And let's just anchor it down in the back. And so it's anchored nicely. And let's come out somewhere over here. Okay, and I am going to cross inward because I want to just here, and let's just gather a thread, and my thread is always behind my needle for the blanket stitch. So I'm adding layers and layers of threads around the paper, and the first time I'm catching the paper with that pearl cotton, with the Cretan stitch. Now I'm just going on the fabric. Try to go a little faster because I want to let you see what it looks like. And I try to lay it down, and I push the fabric out and pull. And I've made, looks like 2 holes there. And I need to move my needle. Okay, let's go now. And if your thread tangles, let's just move it along. Okay, so let's just gather that scoop, and the thread is just laying along the paper and pull. So when you have a nice big hole to stitch through, you see how I'm pulling my fabric flat and pulling my thread tight. And then again, because you see how nicely this bends with the soft gel medium, because otherwise it would tear. Pre-poked holes are your friend. Okay, and looks like I'm just going to have to, instead of going like a V, I'm just going to carry it over my paper, because I've done these 3 sets of holes. Blanket stitch. Chenille needle and wool, tapestry wool. You could use any kind of knitting or crocheting yarn. Okay, so I did those 3. I did these 2. So let's do those, a scooping motion. And what we're trying to do is outline the paper image with different threads to blend it into the, blend the paper image into the fabric. It's another 1 scoop, and this one isn't. Okay, where's my little, it's the, oh my, it's the soft gel medium. It's bendable, but it's still thick, and I'm using a thick cotton. Okay, so now that you have the holes properly, it's going through. Looks like I did not have a hole there. Let's poke one. And I spread my surface I'm stitching through. And I didn't poke my hole, so I'm having grief now. Okay. Breathe. And there we are. Okay. Neighbors are out. 2 houses down. Okay. Oh, no, it's the grandkids next door. Might be a little bit louder. If it's too loud, I'll have to stop videoing. Okay, we're quite close together here. Okay, and in and out. So I'm doing the blanket stitch all the way across in this wool. So I will be finished. I should have enough yarn, hopefully, to finish this line. So let's do that quickly. Then I'm going to add another type of thread. We'll see what I choose, whether I do the white. I know it's not mohair. That's what it is. It's not cashmere. It's mohair. Whether I do the white mohair or whether I do the, you know what, I might do some embroidery floss first. Next, the 3rd thread. a satin stitch, and then also a satin stitch with a mohair yarn there. So I'm just about finished, and I'll end this video because this video is the buttonhole stitch. I'm just going to be doing satin stitch next. Okay, so then there's, if I just bring it down there, that's too far away. Let's go down there. Oh my goodness. Okay, and I am going to come up here. And I'm going to go down underneath this bar, close to the paper. Okay, good. Let's just tie it off, and I'll show you what it looks like with the 2 layers of threads. 1 pearl cotton. I'm going to have different kinds of threads. So if I've had pearl cotton already, I double knotted that, and then I'm going to cut off the wool. And let's have a look. Let's move this. Okay, so let's see here. This image is just outlined with a pearl cotton, and this image is first pearl cotton in the cretin stitch. Then I used wool in the blanket stitch. If I say blanket stitch and buttonhole stitch, they're virtually similar depending on where you use them. So that's that. So every one of my images that I have in this book will have many threads on them. The cover page I'm just going to work on right now, and the next video will be to add a different kind of thread. See you in the next video. Bye for now.